Hello, so nice of you to join us at this webinar. On behalf of the entire team of Special Mobility, I welcome you. In this program, we will guide you through the following topics: efficiency and mindset when it comes to our products and their application, passenger experience and Special Mobility's commitment to a seamless and inclusive journey for PRMs. And maybe the most interesting part of this program, the autonomous future in the airport and Special Mobility's takes on it. I'm joined here at the table by Frank Bot and Wesley Hubers of Special Mobility. Frank is the owner and founder of Special Mobility. He leads the company and is dedicated to continuously seeking innovative solutions that cater the evolving needs of our customers. And Wesley is Special Mobility's sales manager and overseeing the commercial aspects of the company. With over 6 years of experience in different positions here from the ground up, he has acquired a lot of knowledge of the products. Frank, Special Mobility is the leading manufacturer of transporting solutions for people with reduced mobility within the aviation sector. For the few people in the industry that don't know Special Mobility yet, what do you do?
We produce transportation equipment from taxi to the seat in the plane. You can think about the manual transportation chair. We call it the Mobby. Just to push. We have a self-propelling Mobby for people who want to drive themselves. We have an aisle Mobby. It's a small Mobby. We have an electric Mobby.
Wow.
We even have a bariatric Mobby, which is bigger for bigger people. And we have a possibility where an e-Mobby can connect with several manual Mobbies to drive with multiple passenger or restoring empty Mobby chairs. And we have a multi-Mobby in a 6-seater and in an 8-seater. And the latest product that we acquired was a PRM lift, which is there, for taking a passenger out of the chair. It doesn't matter what chair.
Yeah.
And transfer it to the plane seat without getting lifted.
And your products are to be found in airports all around the world. And your mission is making the trip as seamless as possible for people with reduced mobility.
Yes.
And please explain to us how did you founded this company? Was this a childhood dream of you to become the CEO of a company that builds chairs for PRMs?
No, not really. Although the company is existing for more than 25 years, we started with parts. In 2008, a foundation came to me and asked, is it possible for you to make a transportation wheelchair for shopping malls and zoos and shopping malls like IKEA? And I said, well, how many units do you have in mind? So he called a number and I suggested, well, why don't we make it together? You give me the put-in and we make the transportation chair.
Yeah.
And in that time it was called the Caddy 3. Schiphol Airport saw this chair and also had a requirement of making such a chair, but then with some PRM functionalities, like a leg rest and foldable armrests. So we made that for Schiphol as well. And those chairs were supplied 2008 or 2009.
So 2008, 2009 was actually the beginning of what the company is right now.
Yeah. But the design was quite industrial. It didn't look very nice. So in 2014, we made a new type of Mobby, which was more better design, and we went to Brussels Airport. They bought the chair, and Brussels Airport required from us or asked us if we could make it possible for one attendant to drive with 2 passengers.
Yeah.
And they said, well, why don't you connect two chairs by welding them together.
Yeah, make a little train. Yeah.
Or make it together with bolts or something.
Yeah.
So this was, I thought it was quite funny, but it was a very good idea. So we made an electric one, which we still have, and we made a connection, which we patented, and the connection could connect with an extra mobby.
Yeah.
So one attendant could drive with two passengers.
Yeah, that's of course obviously a very smart decision because there's a staff shortage in airports all around the globe, and there are more and more people with reduced mobility. So when you can combine those two, it's a really smart move.
Yes, yes, and of course, when we went to Paris, they asked for, oh, well, you can drive with two passengers. Is it possible to drive with three passengers?
There's always a next step. There's always.
So I said, well, if we make one for three, you will ask for four.
Yeah.
So no, we made three, but that's the maximum, because otherwise the row gets too long and it gets complicated for the machine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also safety wise.
It has to do with safety, but four is a decent number. Wesley, you made an interesting journey throughout the company because you started at production.
Yeah.
6 years ago.
Started from the ground up. And,
Yeah.
been around the company for 6.5 years now.
So you know how the products are made because in the past you made them yourself.
A lot has changed, obviously, in this course, but I know the products from the ground up. So and that kind of evolved into me taking on more of a service role in the company, and the service role visiting customers obviously has some commercial value as well, and I kind of grew into the more commercial part of the company, and now I'm co-responsible with Frank together, obviously, for all commercial happenings within the company.
Yeah. And there are a lot of commercial happenings in the company.
Yes.
It's really good to say that you're proudly based in the Netherlands, that all the products are designed here and also produced here.
Yeah, they're not almost all products are completely assembled and produced in the Netherlands.
And Wesley, the products are built here in the Netherlands. That's one of the things the company stands out in. Are there any other things you want to mention?
Yeah, they are obviously produced in the Netherlands, fully assembled in the Netherlands, and this ensures that we can offer a really high quality wheelchair that's low in maintenance, and has a long life expectancy. And on the other hand, that pushes the price up a little bit, so we're a little more in the higher segment of the pricing.
Yeah, so the quality is as high as possible, but that comes with a bit higher price than the cheaper ones were made in other parts of the world.
Yeah, and it's paid back in durability, obviously.
Yeah.
So you'll have a chair that outlasts most of the low budget competitors in that regard.
Yeah. So the chairs. Frank, last longer, but also they are more durable. They are nicer to see, nicer to feel. So the experience for the people with reduced mobility and for the operators at the airports it's much more convenient, I presume.
Yes, and that's our main goal. I think with the number of PRMs increasing, traveling, and they are paid customers. The time is over that we put them in cheap, comfortable wheelchairs.
Yeah, those foldable chairs made for a few bucks.
Yeah. So I think that time is over. So we produce a chair which is comfortable, safe, and durable for both the attendant and the passenger, and that's contributing to a seamless journey and to a good passenger experience.
Yeah. So now again, I hear seamless journey. That's really important for you, isn't it? That's in the DNA of the company.
Not especially for us so much important, but obviously for the end user, for the customer, it's really important that they get to enjoy an inclusive and safe journey. And make it as seamless as possible. So without any transitions. So imagine a passenger leaving a taxi, taking a seat in one of our chairs, or being an electric wheelchair or a regular mobby or whatever, and they get to enjoy the whole ride from the taxi to the plane, obviously, without making any transfers, and that contributes in the experience of the customer, and that's one thing we like to offer. I think that's what sets us apart, that we can offer an inclusive, safe journey from taxi to plane with our complete range of products, obviously.
And exactly that, making the journey as inclusive as possible, especially for people with reduced mobility, is really important in these days, isn't it?
Nobody wants to feel left out, so they, as Frank just mentioned, they are paying customers as well, and they get to experience the airport like any other passenger, and I think that's very important, because you don't want to feel like a second-grade passenger in any form, and they also want to have a coffee or whatever, or enjoy it.
It's really nice, Frank, that you build a company that contributes for such a great deal for people who have difficulties to travel, and they can travel with less worrying using your products. What are your ambitions for the future?
Well, that's an interesting question. In the airport, you have the airport and you have the PRM provider. For the airport, it's very important that the passenger has a good experience within the journey, because they also rank the airport. So this is a main goal for the airports. The service provider has also, it's important for the service provider as well to have to offer a good journey, as seamless as possible. However, the service provider also has to make some money to pay the cost. So that can give a conflict of interest, and we make efficient products that helps the service provider by driving with 1 or 2 or 3 passengers at the same time. And also, that must be comfortable for the PRM. So the ambition is to do a good job for the airport and also a good job for the service provider with the comfort for the PRM. And the comfort for the PRM is, for example, when they are connected to our electric e-mobby, we have a system that connects them electrically, meaning that the passenger doesn't have to step out of the chair and step into the chair while the chair is connected or deconnected. So this makes a good contribution to a good passenger experience.
Yeah, and a good passenger experience is a happy passenger experience and also an efficient passenger experience. Because can you elaborate more, Wesley, on the efficiency part for both the airports and the service providers?
So in the end, like Frank just mentioned, the service provider has a certain duty in regard to the airport. They have to transport, they have to provide a service for PRMs, and they have to transport them, and it's a cost-oriented job, obviously, and they would like to do so as efficient as possible, and
with less operators,
with less operators if possible, or like Frank,
or making more PRMs, doing more PRMs with the same staff,
with the same staff,
and we in this regard, efficiency is important to us. So we came up with all means of connection. We came up with a multi-mobby. That the multi-mobby is Frank will elaborate some more on that later, but is in essence a vehicle that allows for 5 passengers to be transported with just 1 operator. And these are all tools that can be very useful in a PRM operation while still having a passenger experience in mind and offering the efficiency. And we always try to look as closely to the needs of the market, obviously, and what we can offer.
Yeah.
So and a lot of products came to existence in this way.
Yeah, and because you're an innovative company, and well, you said something about your view on the on the contribution you have as a company, on the difficulties you have maybe sometimes with airports, sometimes with service providers. Obviously, the last one, the service providers, they want to cut costs as much as possible. Can you convince them that it's good to invest in higher quality, more durable products in the beginning? That's also cost efficiency to do so. Can you convince them to do it?
Sometimes.
Maybe this program will help doing so, but sometimes it's also sometimes not. I presume.
Well, people understand that our chair is safe. So we have a safety brake. So when a chair is released, whatever reason, it stops. It's on the brake.
Yeah.
When a passenger steps onto the footboard, it doesn't tip over. It doesn't move away, so it's safe. It's durable. It has a lot of functionalities which are acquainted to the PRM use, and it has a lifespan. So everybody understands that it's worth the investment. Because when you calculate it over 10 or 12 years, it's not that expensive. So people understand. But sometimes there's just budget problems, and you have to buy cheaper products.
Yeah.
Sometimes the airport buys the equipment, and the service provider can use the equipment. Then it's easier to convince them. But if the service provider must buy all the equipment and has a contract for 4 years, it's getting difficult. So there are difficulties.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, and that's something you work on every day. About the durability of your products, it's also, of course, environmentally friendly, because the Mobis and the e-Mobis you assembled back in the days, they are still being used. Even the Mobis from the beginning, from over 10 years ago, are still being used at airports.
In some use cases, we have chairs that are in operation now for over 10 years. So we're very proud.
That's great, isn't it? So Wesley, also from an environmental point of view, it's really good, of course, that your products are so durable, that they last long, that the Mobis you built back in the days that are still being used in airports all around the world.
It's really nice for us to have these products that last that long. And like you just said, in some use cases we have products that are being used for over 10 years now.
Wow. Yeah.
So we're really proud of that.
He made the chairs.
Yeah.
Like in what I said, in 2008 we supplied chairs to Schiphol Airport. And we replaced those just recently in 2023-22.
So they were for 15 years in
they
service.
were for 15 years. They were not new anymore because
a bit scratched maybe.
A lot of scratches, obviously, because they are used 24/7.
Yeah, of course.
On
one of the busiest airports in the world, also Heathrow Airport, the busiest airport in Europe, is one of your clients. So the products are used really intensively, but they still run. And what happens when you replace them? Are they being recycled? Are there materials?
We have some cases where we refurbish chairs. So there's a powder coating finish on the wheelchairs, and if the need arises, we can have them sandblasted, refinished with a new powder coating, outfit new wheels on them, and they're good to go again. Yeah. So in that regard, it's really eco-friendly.
Also the Brussels fleet, we took them back. We supplied new ones.
Yeah.
We refurbished them, a new powder coating, and we sold them to the States.
Yeah.
And they wanted a cheap chair.
Yeah, of course. Then they get a cheap chair from Brussels. And Wesley, maybe also interesting to elaborate on the around the world part, because you mentioned the United States. I know you Heathrow Airport, Brussels, Schiphol, but you are really clients all around the world. How does it work? How can you service based in the Netherlands, the entire globe.
Yeah, we do that through an elaborate ring of distributors and resellers around the world, and we have in some key areas we have really reliable partners in this, obviously, and I think it's essential also to have these partners, because even though our products are very durable, they still require maintenance and upkeep, and especially the electric units, they require maintenance, upkeep, and
someone which is close by to help in case of any problems.
Those we can obviously service ourselves, but the farther away from the Netherlands, the harder that becomes, obviously, and especially cost-wise.
Yeah.
So we
also
really
they come to our facility and we train them properly.
Yeah.
So they can do the job on behalf of us in the other parts.
Yeah,
that's really great.
That's usually the case, right? Because we invite new partners over and make them aware of everything that needs to be done in regards to service, maintenance, training.
I saw on your website that you have a really, really broad network from service partners in Australia, in Qatar, in the States. So
exactly.
you cover the globe. That's really interesting that you are such a company which is indeed provides services in airports around the world.
But we can still use some. We can still use some more.
We are still looking for distributors
to expand your your business.
We don't cover the whole globe yet.
Yeah. Most key areas we are represented now, but we keep we're always looking for new contacts.
Okay, that's also interesting. If you are joining us here and you want to get in touch with the company because you know parties, or maybe you're such a party yourself, please get in contact with these gentlemen, and they will guide you through the process. So I've got a pretty good idea of what Special Mobility stands for and the vision you have in mind. Later in the program, we will talk about the autonomous future. So please keep watching. But first, before we're going to talk about the autonomous future, Frank, how do you see the near future? What are your upcoming challenges?
Well, it's clear that the number of PRMs traveling around the world are increasing, and even are increasing more than the increase of the people who are traveling through the airports. So the need for more effective products, I see that happening. That will happen in the future. I think we will sell more and more equipment that transports multiple passengers. But also we see something coming, which is the autonomous wheelchair. There are some Chinese or Japanese products that can go from A to B and avoiding obstacles. But it's not high tech. It's not integrated. It's not. You can use it. It's a good addition. But we see this coming, and
you have a broader and maybe better ambitions than what currently the new standard is going to be in the market. Those products that are running now, you mentioned Chinese and Japanese companies. Do they still need an operator, or are they really are the chairs driving on their own?
The chairs can drive on their own, which makes them autonomous. But you need to say to the chair, you're here now. You go there, and that's it. Yeah, that's all they can do. And
it's not as seamless as you want to be.
I think for the passenger, this is quite seamless, because they step in and they go where they should go. So that's rather seamless, but it's still not the same experience as a regular passenger. When a regular passenger comes to the airport 2 hours before, the gate's not.
It's not available.
It's unsure. It's not available. Yeah, so you go, or it can change. So you go through security. You go to drink a coffee or a beer. You take a sandwich. You wait. So that's another experience than coming to the airport, sit down, and go to the gate.
Yeah. And you mentioned in the program before, basically, that it's your ambition to make it as seamless as possible, but also that passengers with reduced mobility can have basically the same freedoms that we have when we are traveling. Get a
Exactly.
coffee, get a
I
beer,
think
get a sandwich.
That's a fair point. Like Frank just mentioned, PRM numbers are going up. We see that percentage-wise they're going up, but what we also see is that airports are making a real effort to have a real inclusive journey for PRMs, and I think a solution like an autonomous wheelchair, if done correctly, can be a real addition to the PRM service and be a means to provide that inclusive journey. So I think it's the simple A to B journey is not sufficient in that regard. So you would have to come up with options and make that journey as inclusive as possible, obviously, for a PRM.
And when you take a look at all the airports now, obviously you know a lot of airports because they are your customers and you travel a lot for the company and maybe also to go on holiday. Which airport really do stand out? You mentioned in the beginning of our conversation that Brussels Airport in 2014 challenged you to build something that didn't exist. Are they still one of the front runners when it goes to, well, making the journey as seamless as possible for PRMs?
Yeah, I believe that they are in front.
Mm-hmm.
They are also, we are in cooperation with Brussels also for the project of autonomous wheelchairs.
Yeah.
After we made the e-mobi that I told you about in Brussels, they also asked for a kind of golf cart which is safe. So that's also how we developed, and that was also in cooperation with Heathrow. We made a multi-mobi, which has a low boarding for the PRM passenger, which is easier. It has doors, so the arms and the legs are protected. It has door sensors, so when the doors open, it cannot drive or it stops. It has front scanner, so it doesn't smash a wall or a person.
Yeah. Keep in mind that usually in airports, nowadays still in airports, a lot of the times the normal traditional golf cart is being used as a service vehicle.
I see them all the time, yeah.
And a golf cart is obviously in no way or form developed to travel with disabled passengers. So they have a really high step in, and they are in no way or form designed for this, and that's where
because they are designed for another purpose.
Yeah.
And the multi-mobi is especially designed for transporting people in crowded places, because also the sensor technology you mentioned. Yeah,
airport terminal, and it speaks also a lot of what we do, because we always are in close contact with our customers, and for this instance, Frank was in contact with Heathrow, and the multi-mobi was also born from a special need from, in this case, Heathrow. Yeah. And we look for a solution together with our customer, making sure that they receive exactly what they need in their operation.
So you build products because there's demand from the market, because you are in good touch, in good collaboration with the customers. There's a really interesting video you should watch on specialmobility.eu. There you can see the multi-mobi in action, and actually what you just described, Frank, there's someone walking in front of the multi-mobi, and it comes to a standstill immediately, keeping all the passengers safe, and also, of course, the other travelers on the airport. So it's really a great invention. Later on, in a few moments, something more about your vision on autonomous chairs, autonomous driving at airports. But first, the near future, the following years. You are, of course, innovating on existing products. You also mentioned there's a high increase, a high rise in demand, because there are more and more people with reduced mobility who are traveling. The numbers rise. So can you keep up with the demand? Or are people working overtime at your factory in the Netherlands?
At the moment, yes. We have a lot of orders. We also do a lot of overwork to keep delivery times as good as possible.
Yeah.
And we are expanding our company. So, and yes, well, we also are looking at autonomous driving for the customers.
And really curious, Wesley. Maybe you would like to kick off. What is what is now in development for autonomous solutions?
Yeah, we obviously have to keep that a little bit pinned to the chest. We keep our cards close, but
Because not only your customers are watching, I presume.
We presume everybody's watching.
Everybody's watching, of course.
So we're a little bit, and in that regard, we are currently in a research and development phase. So there's nothing tangible as of yet. So,
but you have a vision. Can you tell us how you predict the future is going to look like?
I do not necessarily have that vision. Obviously, I'm very in close contact with our customers, and I know what's needed. And but the vision is actually Frank's vision. And
Okay.
And
well,
let's go to Mr. Vision then. What do you predict in maybe 5 years, 10 years?
The autonomous chair that drives from A to B is a very good addition.
You mentioned it earlier.
For an airport to have. So, in the near future, there will be more of our products and more autonomous wheelchairs, and we are going to produce one ourselves as well.
Mm-hmm. Wow!
But there are challenges. When you want to drive from A to B on a big airport, you need mapping. Mapping is not. It's quite difficult for the existing products on the market.
Yeah.
So we know that we have to solve that. We must increase mapping. We must find a solution for charging. We must find a solution for the maintenance. And we have some ideas about it. And we are making a proof of concept with 2 customers, doing all these exercises. Also, what a challenge is when a gate changes.
Yeah, then of course
So
the passenger
when you
knows.
go from A to B,
and
the gate changes, you are at the wrong gate.
Yeah.
With the existing technology, but we think we will have it in the right way.
Yeah. So
There's obviously we've been around the block a couple of times now, and we've seen a lot of things in the airport and what the market needs, and I think our experience over the past decade has brought some key insights into what a chair like this should actually look like, what it should actually do.
Yeah, and there are a lot of challenges to overcome.
Obviously, like Frank just outlined, seamless integration with the airport itself.
Yeah,
is one of the things. So not just the seamless journey it provides, but also the integration and providing necessary info to the passenger.
Because the
inclusivity. That's
inclusivity is key, but that's key in everything you do.
Obviously,
I found out in this program. But when you look at the autonomous chair, it has to communicate not only with the passenger but also with the airport when they change gates, for example, or in case of an emergency, something like that.
So safety is a big issue, and not only safety for the passenger but also for the people that are traveling through the terminal.
Yeah.
So that's key.
But it must be exciting working for a company. Frank mentioned there's a proof of concept being made right now.
Exactly.
So, can you tell us something about the time frame? When can we expect those autonomous chairs being used at airports?
Be careful, huh?
Not too fast.
Really careful. Like we mentioned earlier, we're just now in the research and development phase of this proof of concept, and we hope to come up with something tangible by the end of this year, and we're able to present our customers with a concept.
That's actually very fast, and obviously you're going to launch it to the market only when it's tested, when it's safe, when it's
obviously. But this is not something we've just now come up with, and this has been in the pipeline for a long time now. Let me keep it at that.
Yeah.
But when we actually present something, we want to present something that makes sense and that makes it shows for our experience, and it shows that we know what's needed.
Yeah, and it also shows, Frank, for your ambition, what you have. Isn't it great that, well, a quarter of a century ago, you started this company, and well, you took us to all the highlights you had. 2014, when the products which are being used right now are developed, but then the next step, 2024, autonomous chairs. Did you had this in mind 25 years ago?
No.
That it would evolve like this, that you are becoming more and more a tech company there, actually.
Yes, that's...
Because there's more technology in the products that you bring to market.
Yes, but we are going to have a cooperation with some other technical companies. One who make the software platform, and one who does the engineering of the electronics and the software. And of course, obviously, we have experience building an electric wheelchair that has all the good functionalities. So we will do that. So it will be a combined effort to make the right product for the airports.
I understand.
And what I think also is nice to mention. Of course, it's good to go from A to the gate in as less time as possible. You can also consider as an airport, if we give the possibility that someone takes the autonomous wheelchair and decides on its own where he's going for 2 hours. It needs time, that costs money, obviously. It's not so effective, but this is the best experience that you can provide as an airport.
But because it gives total freedom.
It gives total freedom, and maybe you must say as an airport, okay, you go from A to B. That's okay. You get it. But when you want the complete experience, for 2 hours,
just pay a little fee.
Pay a little fee, put your credit card on, and ready.
And let's go.
A lot is, an airport is not able to ask a person if they are actually disabled. If someone says they're disabled, then the airport is less more obligated to
provide the service.
To provide the service in that
Yeah.
regard.
Yeah.
And this takes up a lot of equipment when people that are simply lost ask for service and then get brought to the gate.
Yeah.
The service. So it takes up a lot of time, capacity, and I think there's a way to safeguard this with autonomous chairs, so that not all equipment or all staff gets used up.
Exactly.
Because some staff will always be required, and we have that in mind as well. And,
of course, you can imagine there are so crowded places in an airport that it's nearly impossible for an autonomous chair to go through. So you must have a clever automotive chair that finds another direction,
another way. Yeah, wow.
Or when it doesn't move for 30 seconds, then the passenger can push a button. I require assistance. I cannot go through. Or when it's standing still for too long time, it gives automatically an alarm, and a service provider must come, must take over control, go through the crowd, and then when it's clear, you can continue. So these are thoughts that's how an autonomous chair should work. In my opinion,
it's really great to hear your vision on this, because you really thought this through, and it's a really exciting future that lays ahead.
You obviously see the world evolving around autonomous solutions, not only in the PRM service, but in the food service industry, etc. You see all kinds of autonomous solutions. So I think it's inevitable that we, as a company, move forward.
You see it also in a lot of other industries, of course. You see it also in consumer electronica.
Exactly.
When you
logistics.
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 So maybe your clients of the future and the passengers of the future will expect the chair to be autonomous. So it's good that you take a step ahead. You're building it right now. Really interesting. So please follow this company for all the updates. Wesley, where can viewers follow the latest developments and updates? Because there's still a lot we didn't mention in this program.
Yes, we have obviously our website. We are listed on almost all the relevant social media platforms. We attend a lot of expos, and there's always an expo every year that we attend. The passenger terminal you mentioned, and we are happy to welcome
a Teams meeting with us.
Everything is possible. You would like to keep in touch, of course, in contact with all the clients. I have a really strong feeling that you're really proud on what you established, and actually, Frank, you should be.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. So you're invited to meet the team. Find us at the Passenger Terminal Expo in Frankfurt, April 16, 17 and 18 in Frankfurt's Messe. We look forward to welcoming you there. We appreciate you taking the time to watch and engage with us. We hope we've offered you some valuable insights. There's a lot more to find out. Please take a look at our website on www.specialmobility.eu. If you have any further inquiries or if you'd like to learn more, please feel free to contact the team directly or one of our trusted distributors around the world. Thank you, Frank and Wesley, and thank you for watching.